Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about how I do research on what car to get when I'm thinking about adding a car to Toro. And actually, what type of research I did before I even started Toro. And I'm going to show you how I did it, and maybe it'll work for you, maybe something you can try. Now, when it comes to selecting the car for Toro, there's different ways. I'm just showing you my way. If you want to share the way that you did it, I would like to know. So let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you're new to Toro, or even if you're already a Toro host, but sometimes you have questions, I finally have it. The Toro guide. Go ahead in the description box, click the link, check out my Toro guide, and give me some feedback. Hopefully you find it helpful. I spent some time doing that. I think it'll answer a lot of questions and help you if you're starting Toro or even if you're on Toro. So I really like to get some feedback on that. Also, everything that I use on Toro, I put in the description box as well. So my lockbox, no smoking sticker, cleaning products, all that is on there. So check it out. It could help you out. Now let's get into this video. You're thinking about joining Toro and you're probably thinking, what car should I get? Or is the car that I currently have, if you're just thinking of listing your personal car to start off, is the car that you have a good car for Toro? And the way I found the right car to get for Toro when I was ready, when I was at that point, was by doing what I'm about to share with you. So let me share the screen. Now, what I think is the best thing you can do is going on the Toro website. If you're not on Toro yet, but you've been thinking about doing it maybe for months, some people have been thinking about doing it maybe for a year or two or longer, right? If you're thinking about doing Toro, start going on the website. That's what you got to do. Some people they'll just, they're thinking about doing it, they're thinking about doing it, but they never even visit the website. Get familiar with the website, right? Get familiar with the website. And this is going to be very important because what may work for me, that's in the area I live in. Most likely, if you're watching this, you may not live in the area I live in, meaning what works for me may not work for you. And what helps kind of get an idea of what's working in your area is going to be getting familiar with the website. So, my biggest tip that I think is going to be helpful is get familiar with the website. If you're not sure how to spell it, it's Turo, and definitely start going on here and type in the city that you live in and get familiar with the website. So basically that's what I would do. I go on the website, constantly go on the website, and I knew already that I want to start with economical cars. Maybe you want to start with SUVs or sports cars, exotic cars, whatever it may be. Check your area. So you got to go on the website. Now, in this case, I'm just going to use the economical cars, but the good news is you can use this for any car. So if you're like, hey, I want to see how trucks are doing, I want to see how my favorite muscle car is doing, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and check out this way. But again, for today's video, we're just going to check out the economical cars. But while we're doing it, if I decide to search some other cars, maybe we'll do that. But right now, the plan's just economical cars, so you can kind of see how I did it, and hopefully this will help you. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I got the a cold, and I'm finally it's going away. But so right now, what's today's exact date? We're in February. Well, I'm making this video February 8th. We'll be going out tomorrow. But when you go on the Toro website. Okay, so in this case, don't select the date. So if we're on February 8th, I'm not going to select February 8th. I'm not going to select the next day. I'm going to select days around. I'm going to tell you why. You want to go, let's say, here we go, March 3rd to March 5th. The reason I went um that far out is because if I would have picked February 8th, let's say to the 10th, a lot of profiles won't pop up because if the car's booked up, it's not going to pop up my search. and I want to see how many cars that I'm interested in are in the area that I live in and how they're doing. So if I pick a further date, more likely they're not most likely they're not booked further out. And it'll let me see more profiles. And you'll see in a little bit in the video why that's important to me. So I went ahead, selected March 3rd to the 5th. I'm going to save that. And we put the city there. And then I hit search. Now, right now, I didn't specify it. Now I'm going to specify. I'm going to put make. And some of you are seeing this. You may be aware of this. There are other ways that you can see um, what cars can bring in. I believe even Toro has a tool, but this is the way I did it. This is the way I like. Now there's other ways to do this, and you could look into different ways. You could do my way. You could do other ways. You could do as many ways as you can to help you out. But I feel like this is um, for me, this is what I like doing most. So since I'm into cars, I know cars. When I was thinking economical, what came to my mind was Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, and Nissan Sentra. Now, if you're thinking about doing economical cars, the reason these three came to mind were they're reliable cars. And that's what I want reliable cars with that hold their value. So these are the ones that came to my mind. Immediately went on Auto Trader, one of the websites I use, and what I realized is the Honda Civic's the most expensive. The Sentra was the best deal that I found, and then the Toyota Corolla. And then when I did research the way I'm doing it, which you're gonna see exactly how I do it in a little bit. And I did see some of the other ways you can see how much these cars will bring in. I saw that the Toyota Corolla was bringing in the most money on my research. Now, this may have changed, but in my area at the time, that was the car. And the Honda Civic, being the most expensive, was bringing in the least. Okay. So, meaning if I'm doing this to make money, if I'm trying to do this as a side hustle to make an additional source of income, you got to think of this as a business. Would it make sense to get the Honda Civic that's going to bring in, from doing the research, the least amount of money possibly and costing me the most? No, it wouldn't. So, immediately, that car was out of the equation. Now, I still think the Honda Civic's a reliable car, a great car, and it holds its value. And I would recommend that car for a personal car. So if you're like, hey, I'm a Honda person, I love Hondas, hey, nothing wrong. If you want to, buy one for yourself, give yourself that satisfaction, go and pay a little bit extra, that's fine because that's your self-satisfaction. So that will make sense to me. But when we're talking about making money, that car did not make sense. And I went with the Corolla, and then later I switched it to the Sentra because I'm trying to keep my overhead as low as possible. Now, some of you may write in the comments, well, I'm going to pay cash. It doesn't matter if you pay cash or you finance. Because even if you go and buy a brand new Toyota Corolla cash and you pay the 22,000, 23, whatever it is, you got to pay yourself back. You got to pay yourself back. And you want to pay yourself back with profit. So regardless if you're paying the bank or you're paying yourself back, you got to pick the car that's going to cost you the least, but bring you in the most, no matter how you're going to, go about it when it comes to purchasing the car, cash or finance. So just keep that in mind. Even if you're buying the car cash, you got to pay yourself back. So these things are important. And when you're at the dealership, some people will say, oh, well, I want to get it this color because it's such a nice color. For in my opinion, my tip, forget all that, right? I'm not gonna pay extra for the color because you're dealing with economical cars. Most people are not going to pay you more for the rental car because the color is really cool, right? They're usually renting the economical car because it's fuel efficient, it's a good daily rate, and they're just trying to, they're coming into town and they're just trying to have some type of transportation that's reliable, that looks nice, but most importantly, that's a great deal for them and it's going to meet their needs. they're usually not they're not buying the car. So with those like with the economical cars, they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm definitely gonna rent this one because it's the cool blue. And a lot of times with these special colors, especially popular colors, those ships will charge you more for them. So keep that in mind. When I'm at the dealership, I'm trying not to pay for any of these add-ons because when you're buying the car, the dealerships, sometimes they try to force you or they try to convince you how it's a great idea to pay for the window tint to get this new color, all that. But then when you go trade it in, they're gonna ignore all that. They're not gonna care what the car has. They're gonna not pay you anything for any of that. And it's funny when you're buying the car, they'll tell you, "Oh, well, we put this clear coat protection on the paint and we put window tint. And how do you expect us just to give you that?" Okay, it's just like you don't expect us to get it for free. When I'm trading in my car, I expect to get something for it. But yet, when I'm trading in the car, none of that matters. Only when I'm buying it. It's so funny how they do it. They never feel, oh, well, it's a used car now. So when I'm trading it in, it's junk. When I'm buying it, it's gold. It's all crap. Remember, when you're buying a car, be smart. Don't be afraid to negotiate. They're not willing to negotiate with you. Go to a different dealership. There's a ton of them. And when you're buying the car, if you're thinking about doing Toro, and hopefully you're thinking about doing it to actually make a profit, not to just offset a payment. And even if you're thinking about doing it to offset a payment, think about making a profit. Okay. Think about making a profit. So when you're actually buying the car, try to get obviously a good car at the best possible price because this is also going to help with you not being upside down later. If you do a bad deal when you buy the car, you're going to be upside down later and you're going to be in a bad position. And remember, if you're buying a Toro car, even if you're buying a personal car, one day you're most likely going to want to get out of this car. So save as much as you can when you're buying it and don't get into all these add-ons and things like that. That's my tip to you because when you go trade it in, guess what? They're not going to give you anything for these add-ons, and they're going to try to take the car for you for a steal and make big profit selling it. And then when someone's buying it, they'll tell them about everything the car has that you paid for and they gave you nothing for. So just keep that in mind. But this is very important to make a profit. That's why I wanted to share that. But back into how I would do research. And I would go back here, make. I'm going to select Toyota Corolla model. Okay. And you can even go and look at years and everything like that. I'm not going to go that specific, but I went ahead and did the Toyota Corolla. Sorry, guys. It's cold. But yeah, I picked the Toyota Corolla. And I picked it a little bit far out so I can see as many profiles possible, see my competition, see what they're going for. This also helps me figure out what the car can go for. So this is why it's important to do the research first before buying. So if I'm thinking about buying Corolla, I want to see what's in my area, what they're going for, and things like that. Now, prices do change depending on the month, the week, all that, but this all gives you an idea so you can start doing your math. But right here, we got to, this is what I would do. I go on profile. So you can see this one has 7 trips. This one has 48 trips. This one has 15. You may be wondering, well, why do some have more trips than others? Well, it could be a lot of different things. But one of the things is we don't know when this person joined with 7 trips. So it could be that they just recently joined and this person's been on the platform longer. It could be that their prices or a lot higher. It could be in many things, but I usually figure out what it is by going on here often. So what I'll start seeing is, okay, trips. So if you're on here and you're seeing like I am, the Toyota Corolla, and you're starting to see high trip numbers, you can basically tell, okay, the car books. That's good. And then as you're scrolling through, you might see some of the same no trips. Most likely they just joined the platform. Right. But I start going through and I say, okay, wow, Corollas, they seem to have good trips. From going on here, I know why some people have more trips than others. It could be, did they just join? How's their pricing? Where are they located? Things like that. What do they offer? Some people offer delivery, some don't. So all those things are going to play a factor into it. But then I start selecting on profiles. So I'll say, all right, let me get an idea of these prices. I'm seeing 36. I'm seeing 44. I'm seeing 33. I'm seeing 51. Now, this one does unlimited miles. I highly recommend against that. I would not do unlimited miles. And I've done great booking the car. So I don't recommend this. I know some people do it because it says they get more bookings. If you want to try it, you can, but I don't recommend doing that. And I'll say, okay, this one, it has a 5 star, 50 trips, 33. And some of these prices, sometimes I do the number. I'm like, how can they make a profit? What must be their trick? Because sometimes the prices don't make sense. So you have to take that into account. But I'm like, all right, 5 stars, 50 trips, not bad. Let's click on this person's profile. And this is what I do. I click on the profile, right? Now I want to know, is this car doing well? Is this car booking? So far, I see 50 trips. I think that's a lot. But is it booking a lot? Well, I think so because of the trips. But what I do to double check, I look at the calendar here. See, the great tool that Turo has is you see these numbers, you see these lines, that means it's booked most of the time. Sorry, most of the time. It could mean that the host doesn't have it available and they will put a line too, but it's a large possibility that the lines mean the car is not available because it's booked. And one of the things I do to kind of like help reassure that is I look at the comments, right? So if we just entered February, we're on February 8th, and you can see, look, there's a comment January 28th, there's another comment January 9th, there's another comment here December. So you can see that these comments are fairly new, they're current with the year and things like that. So it's a pretty safe bet that these lines mean that they're bookings. Now, again, it's not 100% guaranteed, but by the research, looking at the trips, looking at the comments, most likely these lines mean that the car is not available. So then what I do, I count. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it looks like roughly the car for February is booked 11 days. And this is why I selected dates in March. So I can see the February calendar. I see 11 lines. Most likely means the car's booked. And then what I do, I go across the numbers to see the rate and it says 37. So this is not foolproof, but it's a good way to get an estimate. If all these are bookings, and at the time I didn't know this, I'm a host. So I know that most of the time the car might actually be booked to the 18th. And for some reason, I don't know why the calendar won't show a line on the last day. So technically, it could technically be booked more than 11 days. Also, if you do the 1 days, if someone booked the car for 1 day, it doesn't put a line through it. So technically, this car could be booked more than 11 days. But again, if you're not a host, you wouldn't know that most likely. I know that because I've been on the platform for a while. But what I would do before I was on Toro, I take my calculator and I say, all right, 11 times 37, right? So that car with the rate I'm seeing when I go through the numbers on the calendar saying 37, that's $407. And then I would calculate which plan I was going to go with, right? Because Toro offers different plans. I was going to go with the plan that Toro takes 25%, which that's for the protection and everything. So I knew that out of 100, whatever I bring in, 75% goes to my pocket. And that's how we figure out, can I buy a car? Is it going to make me profit? This is the way I would do the research. Now, in my opinion, on this car, 407, 11 days, I don't think it's great. I think it's actually booked too low. With the Sentras, I'm booking them usually between 45 and 50 bucks a day, and I'm renting them quite well. And that's kind of I think with these, if you're buying a new economical car like a Sentra, a Corolla, you need to be booking between 45 and 50, my opinion. Maybe where you live, maybe from your math, you need to book it for more. But remember, you want to be competitive. So this is why it's important to go on the website. If the car that you buy, let's say it's a Toyota Corolla, if you get to make money, you got to rent it for 50 and everybody has it at 40, you're probably going to have a hard time renting your car on the platform. right? Because everybody's beating you quite a bit. And a lot of people, when it comes to economical cars, they're going to be booking based on price. So if that was the case, after you did the numbers, I would recommend not getting into Toro or not buying that car and finding another one because you don't want to buy a car and not be able to rent it, not make any money, and now you just got yourself a new monthly payment, or you spend all that money buying in cash that you're probably going to take a hit if you go resell it right away because cars do lose value most of the time when you drive them off the lot. So this kind of helps you see, okay, what's in my area? How are they booking? And we can go on another one. So this was this one. You can go down. All right, let's see what else. This one says 36 strips, 5 stars. Okay, let's say it caught your eye. And you're like, all right, let's see. Let's go check out the comments. That's what I would do right away. Okay, so comments are pretty up to date. I do notice that there's nothing here in January, which I find weird because we are in February. So I guess the comments, I'll take that back, are not as up to date. So in this one, I probably wouldn't trust the calendar as much because I'm not seeing anything for January. So I'm not sure why. And I'm seeing that the whole month, basically, of February is booked. So I don't know, she just has a car not available because from the 1st to the 16th has a bunch of little lines, but then there's a space and then more. So I'm not sure in this one, to be honest, what's going on. So I wouldn't use this one because maybe the car was in an accident. Maybe she just marked the car not available to the 16th and someone booked it for the 18th. So if you see something like this, hey, we're in February, they got no comments in January, I would immediately just go back and look for something else. So, all right, this one has almost a 5 star, 64 trips, all-star host. Let's go ahead and check them out. All right, back to the comments. Boom. Perfect. They got a comment in February. They got comments in January. So this one seems very recent comments. I checked their calendar and I see some lines in February. So again, I would look at the rate. They're asking about 40 bucks. They have one, two, three, four, roughly around 40 bucks. And I will see what options they give. So they do free pickup if you go to the address provided here. But if you want to get it at the Sanford Airport or the Orlando Airport or up to 20 miles, they do charge a fee for that. But if you book for 2 weeks or longer, it's free. So you can see the different add-ons people do and give you ideas of other things that you may do. Again, this is all going to be from going on the website, and you can start thinking of ways you can make money on the website. So this person, by doing deliveries, this could be a way to make money. Some people you'll see they'll offer coolers, they'll offer towels. So there's different things you can do so you can make more money than just renting out the car. Now you don't have to do this, but just throwing it out there when you're doing your calculations. So I looked at the calendar. I said, all right, I see the pictures here. I'm like, all right, so the car doesn't have that many bookings, not looking so good. So for this example right now, with these two, in my opinion, not saying that they're bad profiles, they're great profiles. They're doing good, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, I'm not seeing that many lines on the calendar, and that's what I would want to see. So I would keep looking for that to see if I could find that the car is doing well and that the numbers are making sense. And I already showed you how I would do it. Now, it's not foolproof, but I like doing this method that I came up with. I found it useful. It helped me. Now, there's other ways you can go on Google, you can go on Turo, and they can kind of give you ballparks of what the car brings in. But I feel like this is going to be a better idea of in your particular area because some of these websites are studies and they came from different areas and the number may be way off for you. So a better way to get a better idea what potentially could be coming in for you is looking in your area on the current website. Now that's just my tip. That's just my opinion, and that's what I did. I'm just sharing basically what I did and what I think works. Doesn't mean that I'm right. So definitely, think about what fits best for you. But I like sharing what I do because sometimes people leave me comments that says it really helped them, and that's my goal. I want to help people that are doing Toro to be successful, make money. That's why I got the Toro guide. So don't forget to check that out. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to smash the like button. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I always look forward to them. Don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully, you smash the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.